Hello, beautiful people. Today I am going to be watercoloring and walking you through an illustrated recipe for Bibimbap. Starting with supplies, we are using 3 different watercolor color palettes. We've got neutral, warm, and cool. And then we're also using a warm and cool assortment of colored pencils. As usual, all of the supplies are linked below. So first you might be wondering, what is Bibimbap? It is a delicious Korean bowl that is made with a base of rice and a number of fun and colorful ingredients on top. So I made this for my dad for Father's Day for the first time. And the best way for me to really figure out and retain how to make something is to draw it. I am such a visual learner. So we're starting off with a bag of rice, and this is the first layer and the staple layer of this dish. Then you add a fried egg right in the middle of the rice. And then you can kind of put whatever you want around it. But there are some more traditional additions, and some you just want to add so you get all of the colors of the rainbow, because in a lot of cultures, you kind of eat with your eyes. And so the first thing that I'm adding are radishes. Radishes are pretty much my favorite vegetable to draw. Radishes and I have a really good relationship going. And I'm doing all of the watercoloring of this in one layer, just for time purposes, because there are a lot of ingredients to do. For some added umami to the bowl, I am adding shiitake mushrooms. So one really fun thing about making this bibimbap was I took a trip to the Korean grocery store, and that place is a magical wonderland of just all sorts of crazy things, roots, crazy vegetables, amazing packaging. It was so much fun, and I kind of want to shop there on the regular now. So I got these shiitake mushrooms, and they are like little flavor bombs. I mean, these things are so filled with umami. And so if you want to make this vegetarian, these are a really good substitute for meat. And going along with the rainbow theme, of course, we're adding carrots. Fun fact, I julienned a carrot for my first time, and it was really hard. I almost cut my thumb multiple times julienning this carrot. I don't think I know how to julienne right. But I will say that look at that orange. Like these watercolors are very vibrant. They're surprisingly vibrant. And I love that, especially for this recipe, because this is one layer. And for cooking purposes, I used soy sauce for some added flavor. I cooked the shiitake mushrooms and some of the veggies and also the beef in some soy sauce. And I just used like the regular old classic Kikkoman. And as you can see, which I think adds to the charm of this illustration, I misspelled it here. There was something about adding the packaging and an iconic brand to this that I just really, really liked, and I thought made the piece just look really cool on the page. I think this soy sauce is actually my favorite part of this painting, especially next to the carrots. The soy sauce and the carrots take the cake. So my bibimbap was not vegetarian. My dad is not vegetarian, although he used to be. So had it been for my mom and I might have skipped the meat, but I did make some ground beef for him. And then also at the Korean grocery store, I got some salted seaweed, and I soaked it. I soaked the salt off, and then I chopped it up, and I had quite a lot of fun illustrating this little seaweed and using all of the greens. And then I feel like when you're illustrating food, and especially meat, it's really hard to make it appetizing. And so I tried to get around that by just adding this nice traditional little blue and white bowl. The backstory behind why I'm making my dad bibimbap for Father's Day is that they were in the Peace Corps in Korea right before I was born, and they just love the culture, and they often reminisce about like old stories back in the day in Korea. So I thought it would be fun to take them down memory lane. And a trick for almost all of my watercolors is I usually do the details in colored pencil. I love this extra added layer. You can add like little design elements and texture and stuff, and so you can add the little bottoms of the shiitake mushrooms and put some extra dirt on them for effect. And this is my first time really sort of getting down and dirty with the Arteza colored pencils. I've been using them a lot this week, and they're good. Again, I'm impressed. I wouldn't tell you guys I was if I wasn't. They're not as waxy and vibrant as some, but they totally do the trick, and they come in so many colors, which is basically what I'm loving about using these art supplies, is just the amount of colors, which makes me use more colors, I feel. Yeah, just adding some final texture on everything. And then adding the labels to all of the ingredients. So in case anyone was wondering what anything is, we have them all labeled here. And I also think that this adds a nice little design element and kind of cues that illustrated recipe look, which I really love. Their illustrated recipes are just such a joy. And last minute addition, I forgot the black sesame. It is very important that the sesame seeds are black, because this just makes the dish so beautiful. I was just loving the black sesame. My parents maybe didn't quite appreciate the aesthetic value quite as much, but you know, as an artist and a designer, I highly recommend getting some black sesame. And then at the 11th hour, I decided that my bean sprouts just needed a little more pizzazz. And voila! This is the Bibimbap. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the making of this illustrated recipe, and I will talk to you again soon. TTFN.